What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today's episode, I'm going to be giving my 2-year review of our 21 F150. Let's just start at the top and jump right into it. So the exterior, 21 was the refresh that they did, and I think they did a phenomenal job. Ford definitely, now who am I kidding? Ford took a lot of the stuff from the previous generation Raptor and slapped it on the new one. But it looks good, I think anyway. Traded it up from a 2015 GMC Sierra, so it was a 1500. So as far as I'm concerned, it was a massive upgrade. We got it in the lead foot gray, and I think the color scheme with that gray looks fantastic, and I'm looking forward to doing more in the future with it. The color scheme is going to be a gold, bronze, and a gray. Moving on, the interior. The first thing I want to start off with in the interior is definitely going to be the infotainment system. I got the big screen on it. The UI for it is pretty good. There's not a lot of hiccups and everything else like that. It does constant updates, or I have it set up to do constant updates, which I think has kind of been, yeah, it's definitely been less of a hassle to get things updated on it than just doing it that way and not even realizing it's done. Although I'll get into the truck and I'll start backing up and the chime will be different. I'll open the doors and the door chime will be different. They keep changing stuff like that, and it's like, all right, pointless, but whatever. So, you know, but I digress. The infotainment system. The UI is good. It's not laggy. The refresh rate is pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it is Ford decided, in their infinite wisdom, that they would take the manual and put it on the infotainment center. So if you want to learn how to do something on the infotainment center, you have to go into the manual, go back, manual, back and forth. And it's just, thank you very much, Ford. Just give me the book. Just give me the manual, man. That's probably my biggest gripe about it. Yeah, that's probably my biggest gripe about it, is that the manual is on the infotainment system. I like to document all of my oil changes, and now I got to come up with my own little book. No big deal, but I wish I had the manual. Let's talk about the seats. The seats in the 21 F150 are incredibly comfortable. We had leather in the GMC. When it got cold, it got stiff and it got very uncomfortable. The space inside also in the GMC wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't what the Ford is. There is tons of space. I can fit all three of my kids, their bags, their pillows, their blankets, a cooler, the dog, and maybe one or two of my wife and I's bags. My camera gear maybe. So there's tons of space in there, tons of compartments. I've got stuff tucked in every nook and cranny in that truck. So there's tons of storage space. 8 cup holders. I don't know why you need 8 cup holders, but there are 8. 1 in each door, 2 in the center, 2 in the back center. There's 8 cup holders. Spacious. I literally, in my notes down here, it says very spacious, tons of spacage, buttload of spaces. It's just metric S-load of space. There's just space everywhere in there. Tons of headroom. I'm 6 foot, so it sits, pretty good. It's just, there's tons of room. Go sit in one. You'll see what I'm talking about. Blind spots. There's one blind spot that I have that's back off to my right, and it's small. The view through all the windows is pretty good. The blind spots are really small. I have the window visors on the driver window, and so it's a little bit wider right there, but you get over it. It ends up not being that big of a deal. You learn how to work the problem and just get around it. My next point, mechanical. I went with the 3.5 EcoBoost. Hear me out. All right. It's better than a V8. And I know it's going to piss off all the fanboys, but it's better than a V8, and I'll tell you why. Gas mileage. Our beloved leader has decided that gas is going to be really expensive. Now we're paying for it. With the 3.5, city driving, 13 to 16 mpg. Every day, all day. Highway driving, 23 to 28. Now, for that 28, it's got to be relatively flat where I'm driving. But it is possible, and I did do it. When we went to Yellowstone, I was getting, oh God, I don't remember what I was getting, but I've got the 36-gallon tank. 36-gallon tank, geez Louise, words are hard. And I was getting about 710, 730 miles out of a tank. To me, that's pretty good. I think we only filled up 4, maybe 5 times in that whole trip, Washington to Yellowstone, Yellowstone and back. And we took the long way both times. So, you know, phenomenal gas mileage on that 3.5. It's got tons of power, bottom end, top end. Those turbos spool up and it takes off. It flies. I really do like the 3.5 EcoBoost. I miss the sound of a V8 for sure, without a doubt. But you know what? I can live without it for better gas mileage. The 4-wheel drive system in the truck, I haven't used it a whole lot, but the bit that I have, it's a Ford 4-wheel drive unit. It does pretty good. No complaints. There was a small issue when I first got the truck where it would constantly say service 4-wheel drive deactivated. I was like, all right, that's cool. And it was just a sensor issue, which is where a lot of the recalls for this truck came from. They were like small sensors, relays, you know, little motors for the windshield wipers and so on and so forth. Not all that big of a deal, but you know, there's probably at least 10 or 12 of them. And you'll get through it, you get over it, and it's not all that bad. Again, you take it into Ford, Ford fixes it, it's under warranty, no big deal, right? But it's still a pain in the ass. Just gonna say it. Moving on, the technology in the truck. Like I said, that infotainment system is top notch. I think Ford did a really good job with it. Good UI, good quality of the screen. The GPS that's built into there is pretty good. I like the features that it carries with it. I'll do a video on the infotainment system a little bit later on. You guys can see what I'm talking about. But I really like it, and I really do like the GPS in it. It's accurate and just is full of features while you're driving. But I'll make a video on it. The perimeter lighting in the truck. It's kind of an add-on. It's not something that you need, but it definitely comes in handy. Several camping trips, get in late and need light, and instead of digging for my headlamp, I just turn the perimeter lighting on the truck, and I've got enough light to at least see what I'm doing. So that's kind of a bonus for me. It wasn't too expensive to add on. I don't remember what else came with it. I'll try to find the pack list of everything that's on the truck and put it in the video. But biggest thing, my favorite part about the truck is the adaptive cruise control. This thing is phenomenal. Okay, it's this close to being like Tesla Autopilot. It'll space itself off the cars in front of you. It'll keep it centered in the lane, keep you from drifting, and so on and so forth. It will speed up and slow down based on the GPS speed zones, 35 mile an hour speed limit. The truck will adjust itself within the parameters that you set. So it's right on that line of being an autopilot, but there's still a manual input that needs to be input. You got to keep your hands on the steering wheel. It won't let you get away with it. If you don't, it'll start binging like crazy, and then it'll turn itself off. So it's not quite an autopilot, but it's almost there. I think Ford was knocking on a very specific door, the back door, and decided that that's where they're going to go. And I think they rolled it out pretty well. It does exactly what I need to. We went to Yellowstone. I had no problem doing that trip. It just, I think the longest stint was probably 12 hours, and it did get a little rough on the neck after that. But 8-hour trip, 9-hour trip was piece of cake. And normally I get sore and neck cramps and so forth just from driving so much. But with that adaptive cruise control, it allows me to relax a lot more. So I really like the adaptive cruise control. Power outlets, man, you could charge everything from your cell phones to your laptops, your drill. Probably could run a table saw off of it, off the hookup in the bed. They're everywhere. There's USB-A's, USB Type-C's or C's. I don't remember. They might even be the same thing. There's a 9 volt, I think it's a 9 volt, the cigarette lighter. You know, the one you would put your finger in as a kid? There's a bunch. There's in the center console, up front in the center. Ooh, something for the interior. The interior lighting, I know it's kind of standard, but when you go from a car that doesn't have it to having it, it's kind of nice. The floorboards are lit up. You drop something, you can see it. It's just kind of nice. Again, the owner, I put this into several different places, like interior technology. The manual. Ford, for the love of all that is holy, just give me the damn manual, please. Now, I wrote down like best parts and my worst parts. The best parts, I already told you guys. The adaptive cruise control. What else is on there? Yeah, the adaptive cruise control, the perimeter lighting, the electrical hookups all over the place. I like having the electrical hookup in the bed. I can sit back there, even if I don't have a setup with my, my mattress set up with my pull-out drawer and my little kitchen and everything. I could still sit back there with a cot and a plug-in heater, plug that thing into the truck and warm up the canopy that I got back there and be warm. So it just, once I get the build to that part of the build, that plug is going to be incredibly useful. I'm going to do a quick rundown on the parts list. You guys are going to be able to, So I've got a JLT 3.0 oil catch can, a Roush cold air intake, fuel shock wheels wrapped in a BFG KO2, and they're 32s. There's a Prinsu rack up top, and mounted on that is a 23-0 180 degree Peregrine awning. Love that thing, by the way. I'm going to reach out to 23-0. I'm going to try to get something going with them, like a discount code for you guys. What else? All the lights and everything. I got Heretic Studio pod lights set up on ditch mounts just in front of the window. Those are set up or rigged to a Switch Pro 9100. I'll do a little video on that. Great piece of gear. Again, I can activate some of the lighting, like when I got my bed set up, I can activate the lighting from my phone. It's got a Bluetooth setup to the controller. So again, great piece of kit. I'm gonna go into another video for that. Got to create that content, know what I mean? What else? 91. Oh yeah, the ARE canopy. Probably the biggest piece of the build is that canopy, because a lot of the truck build is going to be centered around that. I'm not going to have a tent up top. I'll probably have a spare tent for ground camping, but I'm going to have a setup in the back that's got drawers. I'll be able to fold it over and make a bigger bed. It's going to be about 4 feet wide. I'm going to have a little kitchen set up in there, a little TV set up so that when I'm chilling I can just be playing my Super NES retro console. My final thoughts on the 21 F150. It's a phenomenal truck. Other than the recalls, it's been just stellar. It's only been 2 years and I haven't beaten on it too hard. But for the most part, for the traveling that we've done, it is fantastic for a family rig. Tons of space, great gas mileage. Ford has done a phenomenal job putting that truck together. They're knocking it out of the park with their features. And so, again, it's a great truck. I'd test drive one. I like the 3.5 EcoBoost personally. V8s are great, but that 3.5 is just, it's so responsive. The twin turbos it just moves. Test drive one. Go check it out. Your local Ford dealership. Before I go, I want to throw a huge shout out to the guys at the Overland Truck Store. I'm getting pretty much all of my work done there on the truck. They're a great group of guys and knowledgeable, really friendly. Anytime that I've actually had stuff up there at the shop, when they're working on it, they have no problem me sticking my nose in, seeing what they're doing, trying to figure out and understand what they're working on. So just a really great shop, and I enjoy going up there. And that's probably where I'll take all my business for the foreseeable future. They do meet and greets, probably once a month. We just did one in the beginning of January. It was a snow run up to, God, I don't know where it was, but it was over on the peninsula in Washington. 75 rigs, 78 rigs, something like that turned out. It was massive. We ended up getting stuck turning around, so we didn't get up to where we were, but it was just a good time. Met a bunch of good people, saw some pretty cool rigs. Yeah, just had a blast, and that's really what that shop's about, is friends and having a good time. So if you guys like the content, subscribe to the channel, like and share the videos as much as you can. I would appreciate it, and my daughter, who you'll see periodically on the channel, would absolutely love it if she got likes on a video she was in. So if you guys ever see her, just smash that thumbs up button for her. She would just, she would die if she got likes on a video she was in. Comments, questions, put them in the comment section down below. If you guys have any ideas about the rig or any questions about the truck, go ahead and put them down there. I'll link some info for the Overland Truck Store. But until the next one, you guys, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you around.